Equalism brings political and economic thought into the 21st century. It denounces and rejects all the mistakes of the past proposed and implemented by the left and right over the last 6,000 years. So join me in the 21st century and let's fix this mess rather than just keep doing what we've been doing for centuries and watching things get worse. Equalism doesn't turn the prevailing view of politics and economics on the left and right on its head. It turns it inside out. Equalism adopts a reality that all city and nation states of the last 6,000 years have been predonomic societies, meaning they've been predatory, thus fascist in nature. In part A of this series, which I suggest you watch first, I described free marketism, socialism, communism, and anarchy very generally. I intentionally brushed them in very broad strokes. One of the tenets of equalism is generalization unites, specifics divide, complications divide, and simplification unites. It's just that simple. Equalism's definition of fascism is just as simple. We define fascism as the goal and process of elitist domination, the domination of one group over another group, of one group over an individual, of an individual over a group, or of an individual over another individual. And since this describes the social structure of every state that's ever existed in written history, then all states have been fascist, predonomic. And since capitalism produces social hierarchies and concentrated wealth, it's the economic tool of political fascism. Like the US and the UK, the Soviet Union was just one big corporation, just as the Russian Federation is today, just as every governmental and economic system on earth. They're all elitist, all fascist, and thus all capitalist. It doesn't matter if you privatize government, nationalize business, or do a little of both. The elite win no matter what. It doesn't matter if the economy is boom or bust, the stock market is up or down, or whether the GNP, the GDP, the national debt, inflation, or unemployment is increasing or decreasing. The elite profit more than everyone else. But the elite don't have to worry. Whenever the economy begins to benefit the lower classes, the common, too much, there's always austerity for them to implement. All austerity measures only apply to the common and is used by the elite as a reset button when they decide it's in their best interest to instill more stress, confusion, frustration, chaos, misery, and conflict among their subjects. Equalism doesn't define economic and political systems by their supposed processes, but by their result. If the result is the same, what difference does it make about subtle, insignificant differences and distinctions in the processes used to achieve that result? Processes called aristocracy, feudalism, mercantilism, capitalism, and republicanism, and the processes mistakenly called democracy, free marketism, socialism, and communism have all ended in elitism, nationalism, empire, colonialism, globalism, military worship, government and economic secrecy, rampant domestic and foreign corruption, chattel slavery, wage slavery, debt slavery, foreign war and domestic conflict, social stratification, forced social conformity, and religious and ideological dogmatism. Every political and economic process over the last 6,000 years, regardless of what the elite call them, have actually resulted in the same things: elitism, fascism, and capitalism. Free marketism and capitalism aren't synonymous. Free marketism is no more about huge corporate bureaucracies, corporate intrusions into personal lives, and the limitless and unequal accumulation of personal wealth than socialism is about huge government bureaucracies, government intrusions into personal lives, and the state ownership of anything. Free marketism is no more about corporatism than socialism is about statism. All of these traits are fascist, capitalist traits. Capitalism results in elitism in all its forms, both big business and big government. These traits create, perpetuate, and enforce the will of the elite, and through political, intellectual, and media rhetoric, business and government leaders often publicly appear to be in opposition with one another, but they actually always work in tandem to protect elitist privilege, wealth, and power. Do you see how equalism turns economic and political thought inside out and brings it into the 21st century by revealing the hidden reality of our history and our current situation? Economics and politics are truly very simple concepts, but the elite overcomplicate and convolute them to confuse and stupefy us and misrepresent reality. They want us to fear and misunderstand what will free us from them. Let's stop believing the elitist lies. Let's stop making the same mistakes over and over again and expecting different results. We're being manipulated and played against one another. We're being purposely herded and divided into different camps, so we'll be in perpetual conflict with each other, rather than the elite, who are the puppet masters pulling our strings for their benefit. So they maintain power and continue to lead our species towards the police state that'll solidify their rule and our slavery. Watch part C of this series coming soon and join me in the 21st century. The century humanity either awakens and unites for its common good and mutual well-being, or becomes permanently enslaved and possibly extinct. Resist, refuse, revolt,